The Liberal government's Supreme Court nominee says her experience as a lawyer working on the residential school settlement taught her about the importance of reconciliation and the responsibility of those in power to learn about the lives of others. Justice Sheilah Martin also referenced the humility she found in working on behalf of David Milgard, who was wrongfully convicted of murder, as well as the nuances of judicial sexual assault training during a question-and-answer session with parliamentarians on Tuesday. Known as an advocate for equality and women's issues, Justice Martin, 60, was cautious when asked about former interim Conservative leader Rona Ambrose's bill to mandate sexual assault training for judges, which is now being delayed by the Senate. Story continues below advertisement. Speaking generally, Justice Martin said that as a former law professor, she's rarely heard a good argument in favor of less education. But that need has to be balanced with judicial independence. When you're dealing with the education of judges, or I guess in this case potential judges, one always has to be exceptionally mindful of the countervailing requirement of judicial independence, and who leads the education, what its content is, she said, noting many provincial and national organizations work in this area. The session was moderated by University of Ottawa law professor Franny Larocque, who billed it as a chance to get to know Justice Martin and not an opportunity to comment on specific legal cases. Justice Martin will fill the vacancy created by the retirement of Chief Justice Beverly M. C. Lachlan on December 15. Her nomination will keep the court at 5 men and 4 women. Justice Martin, who frequently made the crowd laugh with quips about everything from her career to her hair, was quizzed for more than 2 hours by MPs and senators from all parties, including the Bloc and Green parties' Elizabeth May, who seemed impressed with her qualifications. The room was also filled with young law students, who lined up in the rain to get a seat to watch. Justice Martin said her approach to writing legal decisions is to respond fairly to arguments that parties have made. I do consider the other side, she said. Many in the legal and Indigenous communities expressed disappointment last week that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau didn't choose an Indigenous judge to sit on the country's top court. But Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould told reporters that Justice Martin, who, since June 2016, served as a judge of the Courts of Appeal of Alberta, the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, will serve the country well. Story continues below advertisement. Story continues below advertisement. She brings diversity from living in various places across our great nation, working in the North, working directly with Indigenous peoples throughout her career, said Ms. Wilson-Raybould, who called it an incredible appointment. Justice Martin said her experience working alongside former Assembly of First Nations Chief Phil Fontaine on the Indian residential school settlement and hearing the stories of abuse left her moved and shaken. This experience reinforced in me how everyone has a pressing, ongoing and personal responsibility to learn about the lives of others, and how that is a special obligation for those who sit in positions of trust, power and authority, she said.